Most people don't realize that because, it's the weather is starting to get colder. It's just as big as spring.
According to Dr. Purvi Parikh, the fall is a big allergy season.
So in spring, there's tree and grass pollen in the air. In fall, the ragweed pollen is the big culprit. And this is important because a lot of times people think they're sick, like they think they're coming down with a cold or bronchitis, when it's actually their allergies or asthma flaring up.
We've had a tricky fall. I mean, we've had sort of like this Indian summer where it's been very warm until the last few days. So that gives it more time for the mold to increase in the air. See, typically mold, when it freezes, it's gone.
Dr. Dean Mitchell adds the foliage further complicates things.
A lot of people don't realize when the leaves are on the ground this time of year and they start to decompose, they spew up mold spores in the air. And mold spores cause a lot of allergic reactions and respiratory issues.
If you have an allergy or are sensitive to mold, you want to avoid raking leaves and leaf blowers because you could even have a respiratory reaction like asthma.
The tricky thing is with mold, it can be delayed. So it may not happen immediately, but a few hours later that night, you may be having trouble breathing and saying, what's going on? I don't have a fever. I don't feel well. And, it's due to that mold exposure.
And it's an altogether tricky time of year trying to avoid the flu and COVID. Here's how you know you're dealing with allergies.
One of the main differences typically is fever. You tend to get fever with the infections where you don't get with the allergies. So that's an important differentiator.
One rule of thumb is usually allergies are a little bit itchier, meaning like, itchy ears, throat. A lot of the symptoms, though, are very similar, like nasal congestion is the same, sore throat, coughing. Usually the cough with allergies is dry, but if you have an infection, you cough stuff up.
Dr. Parikh adds to stay up on your vaccines, keep washing your hands, and believe it or not, staying masked up actually helps for both infections and allergies. Jennifer Williams, Fox 5 News.